Hello, and thank you for volunteering for Leonard Springs Nature Day. I'm going to give you a little bit of an orientation breakdown of what to expect at Wetland 1 and 2 station. First things first, when you're going to arrive at Leonard Springs, you are going to check in at the front when you first pull in. At this check-in point, you will either receive a walkie-talkie or you will not. For some of those stations, they're a little bit farther away from the lunch area, so we will facilitate you a walkie-talkie. After you arrive at site, you're going to come park your car. Parking is found in the lunch area where the bathrooms are. After you park, you're going to find your station materials. For wetlands, they are either going to be down at the wetland station or actually at the top of the stairs. You're going to find your backpack, and you're also going to find your wetland sign, and you're going to walk it down to your station. Once you arrive at your wetland station, you are first going to unpack all your materials. What you expect to find in one of these backpacks are the following. So one important material that you are going to use is your schedule. The schedule lists all the groups that are going to be visiting your time. It also gives you an indication of when you are going to break for lunch. We all take lunch usually together up at the lunch area where the bathrooms are found. Another useful tool in your backpack are going to be copies of the journal guides. The journals are going to be given out to each student that is going to be visiting your station. Your journal guide helps you kind of follow along with the students to understand what kind of information they're expected to know and fill out. Another useful tool is the map of the wetland itself. So as you can imagine, at Wetland Station, you are going to spend some time talking about what a wetland is, what it includes, maybe some animals you might find there, and all that information can actually be found on your facilitator guide. So your facilitator guide is going to have all the information you need in order to give the answers to the students who are arriving at your station. It also gives you a little bit more breakdown on a beaver, which we have some handouts, some visual aid handouts that you can use, as well as beaver impacts on the environment. And again, all this information is found inside of your backpack. In addition to those handouts, you have other visual aids like a beaver skull. So at Wetland Station, in addition to talking about wetlands, we talk about the animals and plants found in there. One very famous keystone species is the beaver. You have this skull here to allow the students to get an up-close look at the different teeth, as well as the skull shape and eye hole placement on the skull. So it's a very useful aid when you guys spend your time talking about beavers and the different roles they have for wetlands and ecosystems. The other cool thing you talk about in wetland is birds. So it's a big portion of it. We have some plush birds available inside the pack for you. And what I like to do is actually place them in some trees or bushes around the area, or just have them right out front to represent a bird that they might find out in the wild. The whole point is for the kids to get used to exploring nature and exploring the different plants and animals found in wetlands. To help with that, we also provide binoculars. There should be roughly around 15 pairs of binoculars in your pack. Each binocular comes with its own case, so you will remove them. I usually like to remove all binoculars at the beginning before the students even arrive at my station. This way it just saves one step. I lay them all out on a tarp, which will also be provided for you. Sometimes if the ground is really dry, the tarp isn't necessary, but if it's really wet and dewy in the morning, laying down the tarp and putting your binoculars on top can keep them from getting too foggy when you go to use them later. So the binoculars, it's always important to go over a couple safety and use protocols when using binoculars. One thing to point out is the use of the strap. It isn't here just for show, it's for the safety of you, the participator, and the binoculars. So you're going to first thing put it around your neck. Binoculars are also adjustable based on the width of your eyes, as well as they have a knob right here to adjust focus. A good thing to remind students is not only does this rope stay around your neck at all times, but you also don't want to try to look through your binoculars and walk at the same time. What you're going to first do is look, spot what you're trying to identify, and then pull the binoculars up. This way you don't go stepping off the ledge or stubbing your toe on a rock. So it's all about safety. So once the binoculars are handed out, you will also give them each a bird field guide. And the whole point of this is for them to stop, look, listen, and hopefully find a bird out in the wild. When they find a bird, they're going to look it up in this book, and they're going to be able to sketch it and fill out a little bit of information on one of the pages in their journals. Again, the whole point is just to get them used to using field guides, using binoculars, as well as looking for key identifying traits and characteristics to figure out which species of bird or animal it is that they might find. After your station is complete, it's very important that you make sure that you have all binoculars So all 15 binoculars have been returned to you. Also make a check to make sure that you have your beaver skull back, your plush birds, and all your bird guides. It's really easy for a kid to forget that it's around their neck. So again, make sure you have all of your materials with you at the end of the station. At the end of the whole nature day, after your 4th group, what you're going to do is you're going to load everything back into your pack, and you're going to return the bag and your sign to where you first found it. So whether that was at your station or at the top of the road, please return your materials to the place that you found them.